Attorney Jonathan Elson, reminding you that if you've been injured in an auto accident, it's important to have somebody on your side. When you need a lawyer,
On Monday, November 25th at around 4 p.m., the Las Vegas Metro responded to a report of a shooting in front of the Palazzo at the Venetian Resort. Arriving officers discovered a gray Jeep Cherokee and the victim lying in the road. According to the report, the victim was shot in the neck by a woman in her 20s over a road rage incident. Las Vegas Metro Homicide Lieutenant Jason Johansson gave a press briefing on the incident.
Here to brief you on a homicide investigation that we're currently conducting in the northbound lanes of Las Vegas Boulevard, just to the north of Palazzo Drive, and it's located within our Convention Center Area Command. Earlier this afternoon at approximately 4:04 p.m., officers from our Convention Center Area Command responded to a report of a shooting and a male down on the ground at that intersection of Las Vegas Boulevard and Palazzo Drive. As officers responded on scene, they located a gray Jeep Cherokee, which was our victim's Cherokee, and they located our victim in the number 2 travel lane of northbound Las Vegas Boulevard, just to the north of that intersection. Officers went to where the victim was and met with additional witnesses there. They began providing and rendering medical aid to him until medical arrived, but unfortunately he was pronounced deceased on scene. As officers initially secured the crime scene and interviewed with several witnesses of the scene, as we reported earlier, the suspect vehicle was described as a silver Subaru WRX, and it is believed that the incident was possibly linked to a road rage that occurred between the gray Jeep Cherokee, which was the victim's car, and the Subaru WRX. That information quickly was relayed to the rest of the patrol command throughout the valley, along with our Fusion Watch and through our local partners, and we were able to quickly identify a license plate for that vehicle, and our air unit was thankfully able to locate that vehicle very quickly at the registered owner's address, which is in the area of Washington and Torrey Pines. Officers responded there shortly thereafter, were able to secure that residence, and after summoning the occupants to exit the vehicle, they did and turned themselves into officers, and they were taken into custody without further incident. What we now know is that vehicle was only occupied by one occupant, which was a female in her 20s, and that our male victim, who sustained, as we reported earlier, a gunshot wound to the neck, was a male in his 50s. What we know from the investigation from homicide is that prior to the incident occurring, both parties were engaged in a road rage incident where our victim, again, is an Uber driver who had 2 passengers in the car, and he was behind the suspect vehicle. During this road rage that is going on between the 2 cars, which sounds like it occurred in the distance of maybe a quarter of a mile, he comes to us, when both cars come stop, our victim exited his vehicle, approached the suspect car, banged on the driver's side glass possibly, and then that is when we believe he was shot. At which point in time, he himself was armed and he produced a firearm, but he collapsed pretty quickly after, and right after he drew the firearm. His firearm was not in play at this time, it's believed, in this incident.